off record. I learned how to do the recording automatic, but now I've also learned how to pause it. What a dumb thing for me to learn. So now I got to learn to unpause it. So we're going to get there. But we had a great training day yesterday with April Lane, shared a lot of great ideas on running a marketing department. I know a lot of you were on there. So we have just an absolute wealth of knowledge that we can really soak in this period of time while we're in limbo, I guess is probably the best word to use it. So please use it wisely. Use it to keep in touch with family members and catch up on your reading and keeping yourself positive and keeping yourself excited. Because when we come out of this, we are definitely going to be rested and ready to kick some butt. So let's have some fun. So this morning we have on the call, and the final numbers haven't been said, but going into the final month, the #1 recruiter in the world, we'll see how it finishes up the final month. Miss Lisa, who's been with the company since January of 2019, when she first came in to watch a little bit of a training in London, Ontario. And she sort of sat at the back of the room, probably had one of those looks of, I'm not sure why I'm here. But I'll just be polite and not say anything and go through the motions. And since then has really gone on and done a really great job. And we have a lot of great questions, and it's amazing. I had a full page of questions, and then probably about with the 20 minutes to go, I must have had another 13, 14 questions come in over, so people were, and I can't write them that fast. Please get me the questions the day before if you can, so I can help people prepare and make sure they have somewhat idea what we're going to talk about. But I want to welcome you, Lisa, to Lifesaver TV live. You're on the hot seat, and so we're going to get into the questions. You ready? Okay, you're on pause. I can't hear you. Why are you on mute again?
Don't know.
Okay, there you go. No, don't touch it.
Okay.
You're perfect. There we go. Okay, so the first question is, and probably, an interesting question is, how old were you when you actually started working in a direct sales office?
12.
12.
Dad opened his.
Is that legal?
He believes in child labor, so yeah, it was. I was 12. The day my dad opened his first office, we moved from BC to St. Catharines, and we went in to meet everybody in there, and the first person I met is my now husband. And 2 months later, he taught me how to do door reggies.
Fantastic. Awesome. So what was the first thing you were doing when you were 12?
Door reggies.
Door reggies, eh?
He sends cards.
That long ago. That's awesome.
Every day after school and every Saturday, 4 to 9, every day after school, 10 to 2 on Saturday.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So let me ask you this question. When your dad first approached you about the OmniShield opportunity, what was your initial reaction?
I didn't want to get into the same ball of wax we just left.
Okay. Pretty much it. That sounds everything. So how excited were you about the OmniShield product when you first saw it in London, Ontario?
That actually wasn't the first time I saw it.
Okay.
Tom Nasu came and did a demo at my dad's maybe a month before that or a few weeks before that. And my husband was a volunteer firefighter for 10 years. So when my dad asked me to come and watch, I asked him to come with me. And we were floored. And my husband's the biggest skeptic in the world. So when he said it sells itself, that was kind of my, okay, he's got a nod there. And those were big words of support from him. And then, of course, seeing David anytime is an impressive day anytime you get to see him. So that was it was the end of the day in London before I had made a decision that this was going to be a good spot.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, David definitely puts the icing on the cake, doesn't he? Yeah, I don't know if he even knows how many tie downs he uses when he's doing a recruiting demo. Okay, from Jeff Ellis would like to know, what do you feel is your strongest strength as a trainer?
That's a good question. I think believing in them more than they believe in themselves, creating the belief in them, in the product. Like, they're my customer. When I'm training them, I have to get them to see what we see and what we want the customers to see. So the end of day one, they need to believe enough to come back for day two. So I think that's my strength, is helping them see that what we do is rewarding, and that there's opportunity in it, and that they can do it.
Fantastic. That's awesome. What weakness is there that you, if you have one, what would you think is it was one of your weaknesses that you're really working on at getting better at training?
Lack of patience. I have a hard time accepting that not everybody's going to put in the same work effort that I do.
Absolutely. I can read it. Okay. So what do you teach new trainees to say or do during their warm-ups?
Get to know people. Just be genuine. That's the number one thing, is they have to like you, like everybody else has said, but that has to be genuine. You can't come into a home of a dump and tell them how beautiful their home is. You know, you have to find a connection with them in another way, and there's always going to be a connection. So find it, you know, be observant and be genuine in your genuine interest in finding out about who they are.
Fantastic. So you met the love of your life when you were 12 years of age.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you and Des been married?
We've been married 25 years in June.
25 years. You don't look old enough to be married 25 years. That's amazing.
We've been together 32 years solid in July.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations on that. I'm sure you've wanted to kill him a few times.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's wanted to kill me a few times.
Okay, but we're not going to go there. How many children do you have?
We have two.
You have two children, boy and a girl and a boy?
Well, our daughter's 23 and just graduating the University of Waterloo this month. And my son is 22 and he goes to McMaster University for engineering also.
Well, fantastic. Fantastic. So how involved is Des in the business? Is he involved at all in any way, shape, or form? Or
Des is involved in the business in that he keeps pushing me out of bed every day, right? Well, not really. He's gone long before me, but he's when we first started, he did all of our installs. He trained our installers, and he's my sounding board.
Okay, that's awesome. Now you gave a little bit of an idea. He obviously had some experience in direct sales before. As you said, you met him in a direct sales office. So what was his first impression of the OmniShield business? Like you kind of said that the product sells itself is one of the impressions that he had.
Oh yeah, he had the same thought. You know, someone last year at convention said these words, that the first time they saw it, they had two thoughts, and we had the same two thoughts, and that's, why don't I have it, and why am I not selling it?
Absolutely. I love those two. The great thoughts, great answers. How does he feel about you, the long hours that you put in?
He's used to it. This is always the way it's been.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
This
is a question from me, probably more than anything else. Do you feel sometimes that there's a double standard in business in general, where when a man puts in long hours and commitment into their business, they are supporting their family, but when a woman gets accused of doing it, she's getting accused of neglecting the family?
I think that exists, yes. I've been lucky enough to not have that in my family. I think that part of what like I said, I stayed home with my kids for 4 years before I went back to work, and it was important for me to do that. I have a degree in child studies, and I wanted to be there for those early years. And then after that, it was about the balance and teaching them good work ethic. I think that was important. They need to be productive members of society, and I think it was important for them to see that, it's not just dad that does that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good answer. Great answer. April would like to know, working for family is tough. How do you manage to work with your dad? Now remember, he's listening.
He's on the call. My dad is excellent at what he does, and that's not me blowing smoke. He has always been excellent, and he's a motivator, but he can be a challenge like any boss should be. And I think that it's always easier to be harder on family. But it's just made me stronger. It's just made me better at what I do, I think.
Absolutely awesome. Awesome. And everybody has goals. You've got personal goals, you have business goals. But what is your personal goal for the business over the next year?
We keep talking about opening up 2 new locations. That is seriously my goal. I'd like to see two more offices open from organic growth.
Okay, fantastic. What would you say to future trainers? What type of advice would you give them?
Believe in those who led the way. Don't be afraid to try something new. Because new ideas are always, you have to always find something new, I think. Work on getting 1% better every day. And and remember that your trainees' goals have to be just as important as your own.
Fair enough. That's awesome. Okay, Cody would like to know, when training, what is the key to get on Friends and Family Weekends? What is the key for your trainees on Friends and Family Weekends that you're looking for?
I follow David's training manual almost verbatim, and basically getting into that alarm kill and asking them, you know, how do you feel about any member of your family or any friend you know having this being the only thing protecting them tonight? And on his day of training where he asks, you know, when you go into a home, what do you think will be going through your mind? And we want you to think about it differently. We want you to think that that house could have a fire tonight and somebody might not make it out and you could be the last one. And who do you want to share that with the most?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay. Cody would also like to know, when you're training somebody, what are you looking for in training?
I'm looking for a positive attitude and someone who can look me in the eye. The rest is trainable. As long as they're coachable and they come in with a positive attitude, I think 9/10 of the job is positive attitude. And you have to have a little bit of an open mind, because a lot of people come in and they have no idea about anything like this before, or they've never done anything like this before. And so I'm looking for someone coachable, someone who's positive, and someone who can look me in the eye.
I love it. That's a great thing to look for. As you said, if they have a positive attitude, if they got a good work ethic, you can teach them the rest.
That's right.
Absolutely. Okay. Cody would also like to know, what drives you every day?
My kids. My kids 100% that's what drives me every day. They're my reason why. They're the reason I get up in the morning. They're the reason that I get up and do what I do. I want them to, it's not about what they're going to have. It's about what they're going to see. That it comes back to that work ethic and them seeing a strong female role model, but also to see a strong family structure and being a productive member of society, doing something you love.
That's awesome. That's great. You know, I'm sure that helps Cody a lot. Bruce would like to know, what are some of the lessons about sales that you learned from your dad?
Everything, all of them. The buyer is a liar. I know that's a harsh thing to say, but it comes down to that, you know, like everybody has said, it's quite often that 5 to 7 no's before you get a yes. And what are they going to say? And it's just those little white lies they don't really mean. It's just their stall tactic. He's also taught me not to prejudge, and that's probably one of the biggest things I teach people. Never prejudge. You never know whose hot spot you're going to hit, so do the best demo every time.
That's great. And those are really good lessons, no question about that. Bruce would also like to know, why is it important for a safety advisor to call at the end of their demo?
It's important for me as a trainer for me to hear where they're at and what things I can help them with going forward, but also for the customer to have a third party reassurance of everything that they're telling them, that, hey, that this is, you know, important. It is, you know, a special offer today, and getting that customer hearing. It's all about the customer. Like, that phone call is not for me. It's not for the safety advisor. It's for the customer. And that customer needs to hear the safety advisor go to bat for them.
Absolutely. That's great. Really, really good. And again, if you want to know what to teach them tomorrow, learn what they're doing today.
That's right.
Okay. Another question from April is, after a few weeks calls, we've done about 2.5 weeks calls now, and probably with 10 or 12 people have been interviewed so far. Is there anybody that you've heard interviewing, or any people so far that you would like to go visit their offices?
All of them. All of them. Everybody has something you can learn from, and they all have just a little variation in what we do, but also similar. I mean, that was the thing going into this call, is what am I going to say different from anybody else? Because we all have such similar beliefs. I think that's what makes us successful at what we do, but we all have a little twist and difference in the way we do it, and I think you can learn from every single one of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely awesome. Okay, what is your favorite part of training?
The people, just having fun, getting them to believe in it. It's all those aha moments. It's those, I call them the light bulbs. And I teach my trainees that you're going to see that in your demo when you're doing certain parts, and all of a sudden you're going to see those light bulbs go on above the customer's heads. It's me seeing those light bulbs for the safety advisors. It's me seeing those moments where they go, holy smokes. And when they start to believe every time and get a little bit more deeper and deeper into their belief.
Fantastic. Okay. What is your favorite part of the demo?
I think I'm a people person, and I believe that warm up is so important that you have to make that connection. And so that is huge. I like to get to know people, and I think so that's probably the most important part and the part I like the best.
So I guess you're getting to know people, new things. It keeps it interesting. What movie really motivates you?
What movie motivates me? I love sports movies. I love any competition movies that, you know, the guy from behind comes back and wins. So any sports movie pretty much. Sweet.
Now, is there any particular favorite or inspirational or motivational book that you like?
I've just started reading them. I'd like to get a full list of all the ones you're giving out. I'm reading this one right now.
You are a badass. I love it. And how is that book so far?
It's good. It makes you feel pretty awesome.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Now, you started a little slow in the first few months, obviously learning the product, learning things, type of things. But you've really come on in the last 6 months. I mean, in the last 6 months, you not only did you win the trip to Wyoming, you know, Jackson Hole, but you also won the trip to Punta Cana, and obviously you've already qualified for the trip for Colorado Springs. What have you changed over the past year in your training?
I don't think I changed my training, although it's probably impossible to say that. But I think that our biggest change was hiring full-time. We were doing straight part-time to begin with. And when we switched to full-time, which allowed us to talk more about opportunity, because I found so far that a lot of part-time people, they don't necessarily come in for the opportunity right off the bat. It takes them some time before they start to see that. But full-time people are looking for that right away. So that was the big change for us.
Okay. So if you were able to go with all the things you know now for the last year, well, you're in a couple of months experience, and you were able to go back and have a talk with yourself back then, what advice would you give yourself?
I would have spent more than the 2 days that I spent at April's office, and I would have went to Brett's office and spent a week there as well. And I would have asked for more help. I would have talked to the people. I'm really bad at not reaching out, and I would have reached out to the people that are getting it done. I mean, that's why we went to see April. I'm a believer in learning from the best. At that time, she was the belt winner, right? Or going into the month of the belt. And so we went and learned there, and I would have spent more time there. I would have gone to more offices and learned more instead of winging it so much to get started.
Awesome. Really like that. Great answer. What does the first day of training look like for you?
It's all about getting them back for the second day of training. It is because they don't see a demo beforehand. I'm selling the dream, honestly, at the beginning. It's all about getting them excited about opportunity and the business, and then getting them to believe. So, you know, I do a Reader's Digest version of the demo, mainly drill those 4 misconceptions, and then quality of product, and it's, you know, it's about stories and just getting them excited and believing enough that they're going home going, oh my goodness, everybody needs to have this.
Awesome. Love it. Now, is there any part of the demo that you really like to take your time training, and why?
I like to take my time training the warm up, but I think it's better done after the fast start weekend. So the alarm kill and the walkthrough are the things I spend the most time on. And because those are the things I think safety advisors will change or take the path of least resistance the quickest. And so those are the things I want to spend most time on.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. I think a lot of people would agree with that, but yeah, definitely you got to take your time. Listen, if they get those things, if I mean, we've said it 1,000 times, if at the end of the demo, they understand the 4 misconceptions, getting that protection is pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's taking the time and training. Good job. Excellent. Now you've won 3 recruiting trips in a row and gone on 2 already. What is your impression of the trips?
They're awesome. I can tell you that going into them, my husband was like, well, you know, are we really going to go? And he's the one who keeps me motivated to keep winning them, because he hasn't stopped talking about Wyoming since we got back. He's already planning our motorcycle trip there. He can't wait to go to Colorado, and he'd never seen mountains before. So I was super stoked for him to see those things. And they're just awesome. And what really makes them is the people, the camaraderie, the fellowship.
Absolutely. So what would you say to somebody who's won one and didn't make the effort to get there?
Oh, you have to go. Like it's silly not to have earned it and not go. I know that, you know, as the person who does most of the things at our office, it's hard to step away for a few days. It's hard to, you know, maybe leave somebody behind or not have anybody to leave behind. But it is that rejuvenation. It is that standing around in the pool and learning from all the other greats in the business. And yeah, you have to go. Like, it's just, you can't beat it.
What's the one thing you took back from Jackson Hole's trip, from meeting all the people and talking to everybody?
That you need to go to everyone. That
Okay.
you need to go to everyone. That GHS puts together. I talked to Chris Roberts on that trip, and for the people that went on the excursions, they actually planned out that they made sure that they were with a different group of people on each excursion, so that they got to be with and, you know, have some time with everybody. And I was really impressed by that.
Fantastic. Will you ever be missing another trip?
Never.
Okay. I'm putting that answer down, by the way. Okay. What do you love about running an office?
The people. It's seeing it when they get their first protection, when they get their first big paycheck, when they start to realize or have those aha moments or those light bulbs going off where okay, you know, I made that connection now, I see where I went wrong, or the learning process and helping them get to that next stage each time. That's the part I like.
Awesome. This is also a similar question to the one I just asked a couple of seconds ago. What's your biggest memory from Punta Cana?
I think she's going to get sick of us telling her this, but Sue. But honestly, I loved every part of getting to chat. I got to chat with a lot of great people while I was there, and so that was great to be able to, you know, talk to Ronnie and to talk to Aaron and so many people. But yeah, it's kind of hard not to remember carrying Sue to her room.
She's pretty light, isn't she? What is the one thing you feel you need to improve on in running an office?
Developing people. 100%. Letting go of the reins.
It's hard. It's hard to pass on the reins and trust someone else with them, isn't it?
It is.
Let them do the driving. Do you have any hobbies?
I'm a gardener, and I love doing puzzles.
I never knew the puzzles. I knew you were a gardener. I knew you like to make jalapeno peppers and all the other crazy stuff.
You got it. Hot sauce is our thing.
Okay, so what's the biggest puzzle pieces of puzzles you've ever done?
I like to do thousands. I don't do anything less than thousands. 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, okay. That's way too much thinking for me. No, great job though. Your favorite sport you enjoy playing?
The favorite sport I enjoy playing? That's hilarious. Have I ever played a sport? I played softball before I got pregnant. That's a long time. No, I'm more of a sports fan than a player, I would say.
Okay, what's your favorite sport you like to watch?
I like to watch hockey. I like to watch baseball. Live things are always better, and I'm realizing being a part of GHS that I better start liking college football.
Yeah, no kidding. They love their college stuff, no question. Favorite hockey team?
The Leafs, say what you like, but
There, Derek, there. What are some of your goals for 2020?
My first goal is to develop someone to move up, and just keep doing that. Duplicate myself, hopefully.
Okay. What advice would you give to people who want to become killer trainers, just awesome trainers?
Help people believe in themselves. It's your job to, just like it says in the training manual, instill confidence. And so have to be a full believer yourself, and just feed that confidence to them. They can do it. They can do it. You won't believe how easy it is. And I think that's the most important part.
That's great. Okay. You've been involved in a lot of direct sale companies. How is OmniShield different?
In every way. It is, it's the people, it's the support, it's the fact that I know, although I haven't done it often enough, that I could call April or Taylor or Brandon or you or anybody at any time and they would offer a helping hand. I love that. The website, the training website, if any one of our previous businesses had that, I can't even imagine how much more deadly they all would have been. So I think that having a lot of help, a lot of people willing to help you is the biggest thing. Fantastic. Competition is fun, but at the end of the day, when we all help each other, there's just more lives saved, and that's the thing I think everybody has the attitude of in this business.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that you came in, you and Dad, you're gonna do this more of like a part-time type of thing and get some, make some extra sales, make some extra money, do all that type of stuff. And then you came with your dad to the convention last year. And, I'm not sure, how apprehensive you were. Should we go to a convention? Shouldn't we go to a convention? But how is your opinion of GHS? What is your opinion of GHS after last year's convention?
Same. They do everything top notch. I don't think there's anything anybody could find in this company that they don't do well. And if they don't, they'd fix it. They've got years of experience, and I love that we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Just follow the path. They've already got it set out for you. And then to go to a convention where you get to see all of those people, and you really get a grasp for how big it is and how much you're really a part of something. And then again, all of those people that you make connections with while you're there that would help you in a heartbeat.
Well, it's nice. That's awesome, Lisa. Well, I want to thank you very much for this morning. You've been absolutely amazing. Your answers are spot on, and I think there's a lot of really good stuff in there. As the final conversation, what would you like to tell the International Lifesavers team?
Have faith. It's all gonna come around, and just work on getting 1% better every day. 100 days, we'll start it over again.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you very much for this morning's time, for taking the time this morning, for answering the questions. And I know it's not easy sometimes because, everybody's out there looking and they're all got a pen and paper writing down, trying to know every one of your answers. So now they know probably more about you than they know about themselves. So that's absolutely awesome. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time this morning. Today's contest is going to be for the book called Leadership and Self-Deception. It was a book that was sent to me by Joe Aller, which is one of the directors of GHS, about 6 months ago. And when I read the first chapter, it didn't make a lot of sense. And then all of a sudden, the more I read it, the more it started really waking up to me, because it's about a person who actually thinks that he's getting promoted and then finds out that he's on the hot seat to find out that why should we keep you as a manager? And it really is some great reading and really eye-opening stuff. So it's Leadership and Self-Deception. There's going to be 4 real easy questions this morning, super easy questions, and everybody qualifies. So, which video does David Carter say, help the marketing staff, help your dealerships? Which video does David Carter say, help the marketing staff, help your dealerships? Number 2, Tom Naku. How many DNSs in a row did he do before he got his first sale? Tom Naku, how many DNSs? DNSs did not sweat enough. Did he go in a row before he got his first sale? Number 3, why did Taylor Kilborn, why did Taylor Kilborn say saving a deal was easy? Why did Taylor Kilborn say saving a deal was easy? And number 4, What is Jeff Elledge's #1 goal for 2020? What is Jeff Elledge's #1 goal for 2020? Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to be on this morning. Tomorrow's on the hot seat is going to be Mr. Mike Mock, a distributor from Kelowna, BC, the gentleman who promoted Brett Granger. So it's going to be great to find out what Mike ticks. Let's have a fantastic day. Thank you, everybody, for an awesome meeting. Let's rock and roll today.
Have a great day.